All right, new segment. Next segment.
Okay. Do you want a different beat, or do you want to stick with that?
I'm not in control. My new segment is called "Ruin It For Me." Yo, ruin it for me. I'm happy about something. See, you're gonna come up and ruin it for me. Okay, so
that was good.
For real, don't base this on. We can do a segment later called "I Want to Be on Stage," and we will not punish you for wanting to be on stage. But for real, like if you really think you can ruin this for me because you've been thinking about it more than I have, because I saw one paragraph on the internet and I get excited and then I retweet it and then I feel like my job is done and I live in a better world. The gay NFL guy. Yeah. The guy that we have our first openly gay NFL guy. That's all I know. That's it. I know one tweet's worth of information. It's very uplifting to me. I would imagine it's very hard to be an openly gay NFL draft pick or whatever the hell he is.
Sounds like our first gay sports corner. Gay sports corner. Gay sports corner.
I mean, I want to yes and you, but that's really a derailment. Because the segment is, I'm happy about this current event that I know one tweet's worth of information about. What I want is for somebody, because I go to bed and I go, the world's getting better. Gay rights, that takes a huge leap forward. Somebody that's in a position to be nothing but punished for it comes out and says, hey, I'm gay, which really is more symbolic of like the fact that, you know what, your neighbor's probably gay. Like there's people who aren't admitting it, and like it's not weird to be gay, and I can throw a football or I can catch it or whatever the hell he does in that dumbass sport. I'll become open-minded about that shit when I die. Because ththose guys called me fags for a long time. So that's it, right? I go to bed, I sleep like a baby. But there's got to be somebody in the room, right, who can tell me, because this is how it always works. Like you mention it at a cocktail party, and then someone goes, yeah, but that guy's a pedophile, or that guy wasn't going to be. He was the number 3 draft pick, and he came out because it actually boosted him to number 1. Or so. Is there anybody here that has like mitigating information to like dilute this rainbow of joy?
He has a room full of Hitler's art. I will say this, Dan. A guy, believe me, I don't know much about it either, but there was a guy, he's going into the draft, right? Yeah. He's a college player going into the NFL draft, and before he got drafted, he said, also, I'm a homosexual, which might make him less marketable because coaches are weird about putting distractions, as they call it, in their locker room. That could be some guys 2 in the news or 2 in this or that, and I don't want to fuck up my locker room with this or that. On ESPN News, there were people who are coaches, who are pundits, who come out and talk about all sorts of issues. They were asked, would that be distracting for you? You were a coach once, or you were a player once. And a lot of people came out, and they really didn't want to say, because there's certainly no market in saying, yeah, I wouldn't want to be in a room with that guy. They don't say that. What they do say, well, I do see the side of the locker room. Locker rooms, there's lots of different kinds of people in there and different whatever. And, it can be a distraction. I mean, you basically just said that would be a problem for you.
Right.
And also other people have said, so somebody was asked, some player was asked, what percentage of NFL players currently do you think are gay? And he goes, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and 80%. It's not 0.
Well, that's where this don't ask, don't tell thing. We went through this with the military, blah blah. I think a gay activist, a man would say that was into this, would go, you know what? It's a fucking distraction for the meter, the parking meter attendant that I'm gay. On some level, there's not equality yet. There's somehow, even though I don't have to tell you where I put my dick when I look for pleasure, somehow it's a straight run society, and it's blowing back on me, and I'm somehow because straight people can run around high-fiving each other for being straight. You can put up billboards that have innuendo, hey, come get a bagel. It's kind of like fucking a pussy, right? and it's on some level Starburst commercials, and it's a straight man's world. And so there's a certain amount of if you come out of the closet,
oh yeah,
and you're in a political position, it's a risky proposition.
Like people like Kobe got in trouble for calling somebody faggot. But that's something you just like certain people just say when they get angry. And I don't know that was necessarily homophobic, but it's something that certain people just say. And people drop N-bombs on each other. It doesn't necessarily mean they're saying that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But I would imagine that any sports locker room, when you have a bunch of people who aren't necessarily like across the board like PhDs, and they're trained to be really good at one like athletic endeavor, there's going to be lots of like visceral bullshit, and they're going to tease you about anything that you're different at. Let's say you read a lot.
But using that as a reason to like not draft people, then we have a problem because we have systemic. Yeah. That's the thing.
And the thing is,
because if this guy made it to the college level, being into football and being gay.
Well, the beauty of it, like the reason why it's good for him is because he's like, I think he's like a graduate of some good school or something like that. Like he's got his shit together, and he's he's not just any old knucklehead. Like, would you actually have to be a representative? I think it's smart because what you don't want to do, which I think a lot of people, the reason why they can't come out if you're in a soccer locker room or a football or baseball locker room, and you've been playing with these people for 8 years. And you've been in the shower with them for 8 years, and you go, oh, by the way, the whole time that we've been doing dick jokes and doing all this like grab-assing and all this weird male shit that we all do, I've always been gay the whole time. Then you open yourself up to a whole other thing. He's saying, before you draft me, if this ruins my career, I want everyone to know before I go in, I'm gay. Now, currently, my favorite fucking thing in the world is, and I forget his name, but I love the Winter Olympics, and the cat that's gay that calls the figure skating. What's his name? Weir. Johnny Weir? Yeah, John Weir. And he, in Vladimir Putin's Russia, who has made it very clear that it's not cool to be gay there, although he never has a shirt on, and is constantly straddling some sort of beast. Johnny Weir comes out dressed like the fucking, like the Easter parade every time. And he's just like, hello! And he's dressed like Peter Pan, and it's good. And he's got he has the best makeup on, and there's no way to be gayer than Johnny Weir is right now in Russia. And he's basically saying, come arrest me on fucking camera. And that's great. Because the sport has to be full of gay people. Like, it has to be full of everything. And I love the fact that Russia was homophobic, or is. But so is America. So is probably every government, across the board in some ways. But Russia came out and said, don't propagandize about your homosexuality. John Weir's just presence in Russia is propaganda, which is awesome.
Don't propagandize homosexuality because we're all just a tick away from going homo if we see the right poster.
Well, they made it really ambiguous. No gay propaganda. Well, what does that mean exactly?
Yeah. Don't be gay and be happy.
And they go, well, just keep it away.
Don't jump around being gay.
Well, did they say
with a smile on your face?
Keep it away from the kids? Yeah. Well, so if I walk by a child, they left it pretty fucking loose.
All right. Well, so I'm leaving it at that. I'm not going to stretch this out. Let's say there's 150 people in this room. I said ruin it for me. It doesn't sound like this guy. Sounds like he made getting drafted a little more difficult in the 11th hour by doing this amazing thing.
He certainly did, because there might be some coaches who say, I don't want that quote unquote distraction.
Because why bother?
Yeah.
And you could fall back on, I'm not homophobic, but it's a distraction. So he had that horrible empire of mediocrity working against him, worse than having like active aggression working against him. He had actual just status quo stagnation working against him, just gravity.
Let's say you're a coach of the Patriots. Let's say, I'll make up a team like the Flim Flammers, and you have a quarterback that is worth all the money in the league. And you as a coach happen to know that this guy's a rampant homosexual.
Rampant?
Well, yeah. Rampant. He as soon as the lights go down, he's just gay bashing.
Wait, is it gay bashing? Is he a rampant homophobe or a rampant homosexual?
I'm sorry, did I say that? I meant homophobe.
Oh, rampant homophobe. Yes. Okay, that's right. It was rampant homosexual.
I'm sorry, I misspoke.
Okay.
I said rampant and went in a whole different direction.
Right.
But let's say you as a coach know that a certain percentage of your team are homophobic, and they're worth $1 zillion. Like, do you want to bring a linebacker in who causes distress?
Capitalism, mediocrity, path of least resistance, people doing doing what they do, wanting today to be as easy as yesterday. Those are the things that heroes rise up against. It's not when it's fashionable, not when you can goad people to throw lettuce at you and somehow garner that into like a murder story, which is what I often do in my own little world. You know, like somebody that rises up and goes like, you know what, I could have fucking just hung out forever with this toupee on, but I'm bald, motherfucker. I got it. My scalp itches. And actually, it wasn't even about selfishness, like you said. There's a courtesy to that. To go like, you know what? So that 7 years later, when we got our Super Bowl rings, like I want you to have gotten it with a gay guy in the locker room. I don't want you to. I don't want this to be a story that somehow brings us back down into the gutter about showers and all this shit. Anyways, that's enough of that. But my point wasn't so much about, you know, we're in LA, we can love gay people all we want. But my point was more like, in this age, like you hear these heroic things and like, you know, there's a spin on them, and then so often like you read one more paragraph down or you click on one comment in the comment section, it just starts to fall apart because of relativity and all this stuff. But it sounds like a pure hero story.
Were you hoping that somebody did mitigate that? Or that
no, I'm glad nobody did. No wrong answers. If somebody came up and ruined it, that's good too. I wouldn't. I like that's interesting as well.
I like that.
That would show us that there's no such thing as like fucking heroes. Like when Julian Assange like gets tangled up in some weird sexual stuff. It's like, or Martin Luther King, like the first thing they go after is his crotch. You know, like he's causing trouble. I just like maybe what we need to learn is that we're not supposed to be looking for these non-human people. It just so happens that this guy sounds like inhumanly awesome. All right, enough of that. Whatever his name is, and he plays a dumb sport, so he's a fucking idiot. And that is a prejudice I will go to my grave with.
And that segment is called burying the lead.
That's why I'm especially inspired by it, because it means that people can do heroic things even when they're so not bright that they play football for their whole lives. I think that's inspiring. That lizard people can also be heroic. Lizard people. I'm kidding. I'm sure there's great football players out there. Come on the show. We'll talk to you. We'll have a special microphone that picks up on whatever wavelengths you speak in. It won't block the pathway through your mouth so you can breathe. I'm kidding.
How good do you think you would be because you're not the world's greatest interviewer? How good do you think you would be with a famous, highly educated, black, gay NFL draftee?
I don't know. That sounds kind of awesome. Is this guy black, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, fuck, he's awesome! I just automatically pictured like this
why is it better?
Honky, corn-fed kind of like Woody Harrelson guy.
Why is that better that he's black?
Because black people are even more awesome than gay people. Like I don't know. That's amazing. Because he's got even less reason as a black man to come out of the closet. That's fucking. Are you kidding me? Like there's a horribly entrenched homophobic culture that's accepted because. We don't have to explain this. The show will be 2 hours long. It will be, but we're going to talk about other stuff. No, it's just what? My white guilt and my straight guilt make this guy being gay and black fucking amazing. I'm almost willing to forgive him for playing football. I would love to talk to him about. I mean, how do you?
So now that he's black, you want him on the show? He's not a lizard man anymore. Now that he's black.
No, I would have wanted to talk to him no matter what his race was. And that's on the record. No, but come on. Except for fuck you. I'm not apologetic about my glee about wanting like people who have reasons to be afraid being like not afraid. I think that's fucking amazing.